If your goal is gaining weight, you might feel frustrated and left out with a lot of the apps that are on the market right now because most of them target losing weight. No worries though, I got you. Our team at 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗏𝑐𝑜.com has tested over 18 nutrition apps for ourselves and our clients with mass gain goals. And we've come up with the best picks plus ones to avoid. Myself, as well as the 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗏𝑐O.com team of nutrition coaches, registered dietitians, and personal trainers have collectively personally tested all of the apps on this list and collected user feedback. In this video, I'm gonna go over the criteria that we use to assess what makes an excellent app for weight gain, as well as which apps we have chosen as our top 5 and who we think they're right for. If you want to deeper dive into any of these apps, or you want to see what other apps we tested that didn't quite make the cut, you can read the full blog post by going to Google and typing in 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗏 and 5 best nutrition apps for weight gain. This article also has our tips on how to get the best mass gain results while using these apps, so it's definitely worth a read. I've also reviewed all of these apps on this channel, which are also linked in the article, which go into a lot more detail on how we tested each one. First, I would like to go over our criteria for choosing the best apps for weight gain. The first criteria was that the app had to have both calorie and macronutrient targets that are accurate. Your calorie intake will determine whether you gain, lose, or maintain weight. But the macronutrient breakdown of those calories determines how much of that weight is lean muscle mass versus body fat. Our second criteria is, since both calories and macronutrients are essential for muscle gain, the best apps for weight gain will provide you with suggested updates for both macronutrients and calories based on your progress to date. The third criteria is an accurate and verified food database, because all of your work to hit your calorie and macro targets won't be as helpful if the app's food database entries are not accurate. The fourth criteria is that the app had to have a recipe database so that you don't feel like you're getting bored and you're just eating bland meals to hit your targets. And lastly, the apps had to have various ways to record measurements to track progress, because keeping track of circumference measurements, body weight, body fat percentage, and progress photos is a really great way to see whether you added muscle or fat. Now that we've gone over the criteria, I'm gonna start with our #1 app for weight gain, MacroFactor. MacroFactor is our #1 recommended macro tracking app, period. I mean, this applies equally to weight gain and weight loss. This app is like having a nutrition coach in your pocket, because it provides updated calorie and macronutrient targets based on weekly goals and results. Some other things we like about this app is that you have access to large verified food database, so you can be sure that your intake is accurate, because the food database contains only verified entries, which makes it easier to achieve your goals. So you never have to second guess if they're accurate, because they're verified by certified nutritionists. You can easily and quickly log your foods using manual entry, like the barcode scanner, AI describe, or recipes, making you a lot more likely to stick to food tracking and more likely to hit your goals as a result. And with MacroFactor, you get custom calorie and macro targets that are realistic and suitable for progress, and the app encourages users to focus on consistency over perfection. I was personally really pleased to see that they also added waist to height and waist to hip measurements in the app as markers of health that provide more insight than something like BMI or body mass index measurements. The only downside to this app we found are that there are no workouts in the app. There's also no free version of the app. However, they do give you a 1-week free trial. But if you enter the code 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗏 when signing up, you can get an extra week on your free trial. So you can now try it for free for 14 days. Another downside to this app is that you can only use it on your cell phone, since there's no desktop version of the app. Our second pick for best nutrition app for weight gain is Cronometer. I would say that if you consider yourself sort of a data nerd, then this is the perfect app for you, because the app tracks up to 82 macronutrients, making it perfect for people who need to monitor specific nutrients like sodium or cholesterol. You can also log blood test results and other lab results like blood pressure, along with body measurements. This is also a great app for anyone working with coaches or doctors to reach their health goals, because a lot of Cronometer's reports can be customized and sent to healthcare professionals. And its suggested targets can also be overridden entirely to match your healthcare provider's recommendations, so it's really customizable. Another great feature is the ability to record your sleep and mood so that you can optimize your recovery to get the most out of your training and nutrition to maximize your gains, which is the whole point, right? Some drawbacks of Cronometer, however, is that you don't get automatically updated calorie and macronutrient targets, and you can't group foods into meals or snacks in the free version of the app. They rather just appear as one big list. You also can't see the calorie and macro information for food when you search for it without clicking into the entry to see the details. And this is not something that I found to be a huge drawback, but it's kind of a slight nuisance when you're using it. Now, onto the best nutrition app for weight gain, number 3, MyFitnessPal. Now, of course, you've heard of this app. MyFitnessPal is one of the oldest and longest standing nutrition apps on the market today. It was the first app that I ever used. The app has tried to adapt to keep pace with trends like the keto diet, but a lot of its functionality now is behind a paywall, meaning that there are other apps with the same or better functionality at a lower cost. That said, though, the app is still in widespread use for a reason. I mean, it has a huge food database and it contains many more international entries and restaurant chain entries than any other app, making it the best choice for those that eat out often or travel often. We also like that the app allows you to set your own calorie targets. The premium version also has a lot of benefits. It allows you to set macronutrient targets to the exact gram. You can also access meal plans and recipes and log servings directly into your diary, and you're able to add exercise or sync exercise from other activity trackers or apps to line up your nutrition with your training. The biggest downside to MyFitnessPal is that they have a lot of inaccurate entries in the food database, which is often pretty hard for a beginner to decide, and it makes it difficult to progress towards your goals if you're not sure if you're eating too much or too little, because you really want to make sure that the entries you're putting in are accurate so that you know exactly how many calories and macros are in it. Another downside is you can't set macros by grams in the free version of the app, and you have to pay for a lot of the features, including the barcode scanner, which used to be my favorite part of this app. The free version of the app also has a lot of ads, which makes it kind of annoying, so I would definitely recommend, if you want to use MyFitnessPal, to use the premium version. Our number 4 pick for best nutrition tracker for weight gain is MyMacros Plus. This is a great basic option. As the name suggests, MyMacros Plus tracks macronutrients to help users achieve their goals, including weight gain. Like MacroFactor, this app has a premium feature called MacroCoach, which provides weekly updated custom targets. While this app isn't exactly our first choice for macro tracking, we consider it to be highly user-friendly for tracking, especially if you stick to basic foods. You can easily change the serving size from cups to ounces to grams, which is really handy when you can't weigh your food. And we like this app because you can easily log basic foods. You can set your own calorie and macro targets, or you can pay for the premium MacroCoach to suggest targets for you based on your progress. And you can easily keep protein intake stable and switch the remaining calories between carbs and fats based on your preferences. So this is another app that's really customizable. Another great feature is that the app allows you to input your activity level and desired rate of progress to get different suggestions for your calories and macronutrients, which allows you to set the pace that you want. Something else that I really like is that you can create as many meals and or snacks as you want, rather than having to stick to only 6 to 8 meals, which seems to be the maximum on a lot of other apps. So if you're a snacker like me, this is a really great feature because you can accurately track your intake this way. Now for what we don't like. This app has no free version, and you have to pay extra for something called My Workout Plus if you want the ability to log your exercise. In my opinion, I would just want everything included in one price, even if it was a little bit more. Another thing we didn't like is you also can't really find a lot of name brand foods or restaurant entries in the database, unlike MyFitnessPal. Now, last but not least, number 5 on our list of best nutrition tracking apps for weight gain, RP Diet App. The RP Diet App is an acronym for Renaissance Periodization. They focus on nutrient timing and getting most of your daily carb intake before, during, and after your workouts to optimize performance and recovery, which is really great for gaining muscle. This app is really best though for strict bodybuilders and people that are okay with the more rigid form of tracking. The app also has some really great features. You can accept custom macro recommendations based on your weigh-ins compared to your compliance with suggested macros to keep your progress on track. You can also add foods to a shopping list to help simplify preparing your meals, and you can copy meals, which is really helpful if you often eat the same thing, and you can save a ton of time this way. The downside to this app, however, is that not only are macro targets set for each meal, but users must also check whether they hit the targets for each meal or were over or under. I myself found this a little bit too rigid. That said, those who can stick to the app's recommendations see really good results with their muscle gain goals. This app is really designed with serious athletes in mind, whether recreational or competitive, so if you fall into either of those categories, this could be a really great app for you. Now that we've told you our top 5 apps for weight gain, here are a few tips for making those apps work for you. Consistency is key. You gotta stay in a calorie surplus with the correct macronutrient breakdown, and keep training hard by progressively increasing the resistance and weight that you use. I hope that you found this video helpful in choosing which app is going to help you get those gains. If there is any apps that you think that we missed or you would like us to review them next, please put them down in the comments. I would love to hear also about your results and what worked best for you. So make sure you put that down in the comments as well. See you next time. Thanks for watching.